Today we'll discuss, in my opinion, one of the biggest mistakes that Kingdom Hearts players, especially newcomers, make, and that is skipping the non-numbered titles and write them off as spin-offs. First of all, let's clear up the fact that they are not spin-offs, even though I tend to call them that from time to time just because I'm used to it, okay, don't kill me. But in reality, they are continuations or prequels to the mainline numbered titles. And today we'll go over the consequences of skipping them, and you'll quickly realize that confusion is the biggest one. Let's start with Kingdom Hearts Reach and Memories. If you skip this one, you will have a hard time understanding a lot of stuff that happens in Kingdom Hearts 2, starting with why Roxas has dreams of Sora, Donald, and Goofy, and what those dreams actually are. You will also have no idea why Sora and the boys have been asleep for a year, and why all of their friends forgot them, or how they even ended up in those pots in Twilight Town in the first place. You also won't even know what Twilight Town is. This will be your first time seeing Twilight Town, adding to the whole confusion thing. You also will not meet a lot of the Organization 13 members that we meet again in later games, like Marluxia or Larxene. You'll have no proper introduction to them. You'll have no idea why they are available to fight in the absent silhouettes, either in KH2. You will have absolutely no clue as to who Naminé is, and your overall understanding of half the things that are important in KH2's plot will be limited, to say the least. Now it's time to move on to Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, and yes, I say it that way, and I am very glad that that just made you salty. Now, considering that Days came out after KH2, it's not as horrible if you skip it as it is with Reach and Memories, but it's still pretty bad. If you skip the game, you won't get to learn about Roxas's backstory and all of his time in Organization 13. You won't get to see the more fleshed out versions of characters like Sayax, Xemnas, and of course the legend himself, Axel, who gets the biggest, fattest shot of character development that I have ever seen in the entire series. Okay, that may be exaggerating a bit, but come on, the guy went straight from a hitman type guy to the cool older brother who takes the noob under his wing. And not to mention, you will have absolutely no idea who Xion is when we do finally see her for the first time in a while in Dream Drop Distance, and finally the reunion between the Sea Salt Trio and KH3 would not be nearly as impactful as it is after you know everything that happens in 352 days and you see what these three have been through. Kingdom Hearts Recoded is probably the one that if you have to skip any of the non-numbered games, skip this one. While Recoded's gameplay can be pretty fun, the story that it tells is not that impactful, aside from I think a couple of cutscenes, and it's just mostly a recap of things that happened back in KH1. Not much else to say here. If you absolutely want to skip any KH game, skip this one. But what you shouldn't skip is subscribing to this YouTube channel and liking this video, as all that helps me out a lot, and we're trying to get to 100 subscribers. Thank you. Moving on to Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. This is a game that if you skip now, you'll tweak the fuck out on confusion by the time Dream Drop Distance ends, and especially while playing Kingdom Hearts 3. If you skip this, you will have zero idea as to who Ventus, Terra, and Aqua are, along with their master Ericus, and in Kingdom Hearts 3, when fighting Xehanort in his old man form, you'll know barely anything about him even if you played Dream Drop Distance. Now let's look at Dream Drop Distance itself, since I mentioned it a couple of times before this. Now if you know me, you know that I can't play and enjoy Dream Drop Distance for the life of me. Instead, I just opted to watch the cutscenes on YouTube just because I knew that I wanted to keep up with the story, and Dream Drop Distance had some important story points. A lot is revealed about Master Xehanort and his real plan. Riku gets a bit more development for himself, and it's also explained how Axel became human again, as well as how he became a Keyblade wielder in training, which is what they more built upon in Kingdom Hearts 3, and likely will even going forward. Now let's knock out the Key Saga, and there's a lot of shit here to talk about, so I'll just try to keep it as brief as I can. If you skip these games, which I wanted to so bad, you will literally have no fucking idea what's happening with the end of KH3, and even when KH4 comes out, I do think that it will be absolute chaos in your brain when you get to characters like Luxu, the Master of Masters, the Foretellers, Ventus, whose backstory is heavily expanded in the Key Saga. And if you go into Kingdom Hearts 4 without any knowledge of the Key Saga, like I almost did, you'll be screwed a lot more than if you skip any titles that I talked about before or after this one for that matter. This one I genuinely just recommend to sit through the cutscenes on YouTube, as this saga is barely even accessible these days, and at least until these games get proper console or PC remakes, YouTube is genuinely your best bet for getting you up to speed with the events that happen here. Now let's look at Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep. This one is the one that I say there is no point in skipping it, as it's such a short game and it even gives some much more needed character development for Aqua. I don't know why, but I think in Birth by Sleep, Aqua felt kind of bland to me as a character, and 0.2 really fleshes her out a little bit more. We see all of the shit that she's been through in the Realm of Darkness for 10 years, and we see that she is absolutely no pushover, easily being one of the strongest willed characters possibly in the entire series. And by KH3, if you do play this, which like I said you absolutely should, you'll appreciate her return a lot more when you know how and where she had to live for a decade. Finally, let's end things off for this video with Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, which is very important going into Kingdom Hearts 4. It's a Kairi focused game, despite it being a rhythm game, but the most important thing here is for us to be brought up to speed with what happened after Kingdom Hearts 3. It focuses on Kairi, Riku, and the rest of the group doing their best to find clues about where Sora could be and how to get to him. And arguably the most important point out of this entire game is when Ansem the Wise reveals to them that Sora is likely in the world of unreality, which is of course likely where Kingdom Hearts 4 will start. It's a slight glimpse for us into what we could potentially expect in Kingdom Hearts 4, especially in terms of where we're going. And the consequence of you skipping this is you having zero right to bitch and moan about Kairi being pushed to the sidelines, since this is mostly a Kairi focused game and it's mainly about her doing her best to help locate Sora. And also you'll have no idea what Mickey's doing in that library in Scala at Kylum, visible in the KH4 screenshots that we got a few months back. And with that said, I want to thank you for watching this video. Leave your thoughts and opinions on this topic in the comments down below. Did you skip any games that you realized you shouldn't have? Leave your experiences as well, and I'll make sure to read and reply to all of them. Until next video stream, bye bye.